In the world of magic, where elements reign supreme, appears Kanan, the cursed magician. He carries the Demon Lord's brand, yet his glass eyes hide a sight that pierces through every mage. At Derashik Academy, he encounters the Saintess Rice, wielder of the ultimate light magic. Will their shared curses forge an alliance or destroy everything? The hero's brand meets the unseen magic. The trials begin now. Let us know in the comments, what country are you watching this anime from? Our story begins in that beautiful palace, where we see our hero, Kanan, asking us, what does it mean for a person to be able to see? Everyone says that my eyes do not see, so what is the meaning of sight? His father tells him that it means being able to distinguish between colors and shapes, but his eyes are the hero's scars left behind by the holy knight, Hester Huglia. This is an amazing thing, and we must be proud of them. And Kanan hears one of the maids telling her colleague that he possesses the hero's scar, but she pities him. Kanan is deeply affected because he is blind. We then see Kanan walking in the palace with the maid, who tells him that teacher Jenny has arrived. He asks her if it is necessary to learn magic. She tells him it would be a waste not to study magic since he was born bearing the water crest. The ability to use magic is amazing, but even if he could use it, he cannot go anywhere without help. He arrives at teacher Jenny's room and welcomes her. She tells him she will teach him magic starting today. He begins learning his first magic lessons and uses a magic wand. A water bubble appears in the hall. He asks the teacher what kind of magic he is using. She tells him it is a water spell called Aori, as he produces water using magic. She describes the water bubble to him, saying it resembles an eyeball. Then she remembers that Kanan is blind and immediately apologizes for this comparison. Kanan says to her, the same size, that is true, so perhaps I can make them with magic. I just have to make them. I will make eyes with magic no matter what happens. We then see Kanan eating his food and talking to himself, saying, this is interesting. I hadn't thought about it before, but now I can't help but feel curious about what this sandwich contains. He asks the maid what he is eating. She tells him he is eating lettuce, mustard, and plums. He tells her he wants to know all the foods he eats, as he smells many delicious scents. Later, we see teacher Flora asking Kanan which book he wants her to read to him today. He tells her he wants a history book and would like to hear the story of the holy knight Hester Huglia, as he is currently thirsty for all forms of knowledge. He tells us that a long time ago, a war broke out between the world's heroes and the Demon Lord. The hero of this country was Hester, who finally defeated the Demon Lord, but he lost his arm and leg in that great battle. After the war, Hester's descendants began to be born with some deficiency, like a missing arm, leg, or sight. People call these children heroes' scars, but I am independent, and this is my magical power. While doing so, he uses magic and succeeds in multiplying the water ball into 4. Can use magic using his magical power, and thus he will be able to make eyes for himself, and he will achieve that whatever the cost. Then he faints from exhaustion. He is moved inside the palace and tells his maid that he needs more knowledge and stamina. They are essential to make his magic stronger. He is still 7 years old and eats little, yet he shouldn't lose consciousness after using basic magic spells. The maid tells him that a sudden increase in the amount of food he eats will harm him, so he must do it in stages. If he wants to strengthen his muscles, he should do sword-swinging exercises. The maid suggests finding a capable teacher for that, and goes immediately to speak with the master. Kanan thanks the maid, Aiko, for her help and effort with him. He tells him that it is her job and leaves. The next morning, we see Kanan in the garden with Master Oro, who teaches him sword swinging. Then teacher Jenny comes. Master Oro excuses himself, and Kanan thanks him for the lesson as he leaves. Teacher Jenny talks to him, and Kanan tells her that he started sword fencing exercises because he needs knowledge and endurance to use magic skillfully. Then he asks her to continue the lesson. She tells him to use the same spell from the previous lesson to see how much of it he remembers now. Kanan uses the spell and surprises teacher Jenny and the maid Aiko with his amazing skill in magic. Teacher Jenny taught him a little, but he mastered all this on his own. We then move to that palace and see a girl named Milica. Her maid tells her that her carriage is ready. Milica seems unwilling to go. The maid asks her, don't you want to go visit your fiancé? This is his majesty's decision. Milica tells her that her fiancé, Kanan, is always depressed and miserable, and she doesn't want to visit them, but she is forced to. We then see her in the carriage on the way, saying to herself, Kanan was born with the hero's scar, and he is an important person for the kingdom of Huglia. I realize that this political marriage is one of my duties as a member of the royal family. She then remembers her days with Kanan, who was always sad and depressed because he couldn't do anything alone. She arrives at Kanan's place, and he welcomes her with a face full of optimism. Milica is surprised and asks him what the matter is and why he is strained this time. He tells her he has fallen in love with magic. Then he uses water magic, and Milica is dazzled. He apologizes to her for making her treat him cautiously before and asks her to listen to his stories, as he has done many fun things recently. Milica is surprised because she didn't know he was capable of having such optimistic expressions on his face. She holds his hands and agrees to that. At the end of the day, we see Milica returning on the road. She spent a nice day with Kanan unlike before. We then see Kanan with teacher Flora, asking her to teach him how to treat his fiancée Milica to be a respectful man worthy of her. She tells him she will teach him the lesson of composure and noble conduct. At night, we see teacher Jenny talking to herself, saying, "What should I do? He produced 7 beautiful water balls at once. Even I am unable to do this. He has already mastered basic magic and learns quickly. I no longer have anything to teach him." She picks up the intermediate magic book, then realizes that this will be easy work for him. "I am afraid for my wages for teaching him basic magic. It is too early for him to learn advanced magic at only 7 years old. But magic has many dangers. I won't give up this job. I have bills to pay." The next morning, teacher Jenny goes to Kanan and tells him they will try something different today. She tells him that the Ori spell he uses only produces water. She asks him if he can analyze this magic he uses. He tells her that this involves separating the production of water to make it float and maintaining the shape of the water ball. She tells him that is correct, and they must delve deeper into analyzing it. They should think about temperature, viscosity, composition, color, shape, luster, smell, and taste, as there are different types of water. Then she uses her magic and 2 water balls appear. She asks him to touch them, and he finds one cold and the other warm. She tells him that originality can be added to magic using magical modifications. This is what distinguishes every magician and their talents. After that, Kanan uses his magic and drops a water ball into a teacup. He asks the maid Aiko to taste it. She tells him it tastes like apples. Teacher Jenny realizes he immediately mastered the magical modification she spent the whole night thinking about. It seems he is capable of performing all kinds of magic. At night, we see Kanan in his bed with 2 different apples. He can distinguish shapes and scents, but he doesn't know colors. If he is unable to do that, he won't be able to perform magical modifications or make eyes for himself. Then he challenges himself that he will accomplish the matter and will see everything in this world. The next morning, we see him with the maid asking for something with milk. She asks him for some hot water. He uses his magic and a large water crystal appears. Then suddenly something strange happens to him, and he tells her he thinks he saw. The maid Aiko is very happy, but thinks he is joking with her, so she gets very angry and asks him not to joke in this vulgar way again. He tells her that he really felt like he saw colors, or rather, felt them through his magic. Then he holds the green apple. She tells him that colors and their names don't match for him yet because he hasn't seen apples before. Apples are light green and also red. Then she asks him how many apples are on the plate. He tells her there are 2 green apples and 3 red ones. Aiko rejoices greatly because this is a divine miracle. Then the maid Aiko goes to Kanan's father's palace and tells his father that Kanan sees colors within a limited range, but he seems able to distinguish colors. Closer the object, the clearer it is, and he can distinguish colors accurately when touching objects. Also, he can read books by tracking the ink to recognize the color. He hasn't learned letters yet, but he is immersed in picture books and encyclopedias. The father asks her, "Why didn't you return to the main house? I don't want Kanan to be a burden on anyone, and my wife will take care of him non-stop." She tells him that Kanan would refuse that because he wants to change radically. He struggles every day, and changing his environment now might hinder Kanan from achieving his goals. The father thanks her for standing by his son and taking care of him and tells her he will visit them soon. Then Aiko returns to Kanan, and we see them in the garden. Tells her he will show her something amazing. He uses his magic and a very large red water bubble appears. He tells her that when producing large water balls, he feels the color more strongly. Then his mother arrives and tells him she knows he has become able to distinguish colors. Kanan is happy. Then the red water ball falls on him and he turns red. His mother is scared of him and faints. The maid tells him that red is the color of human blood. His father gets angry at him and tells him not to do that again. Then we see teacher Jenny watching them from afar and saying, "You are truly terrifying. You are stained with blood and standing in the middle of a pool of blood. How far will this boy go in his development? Perhaps he might be able to obtain the highest honor in this world, called the Blue Magician." And so ends our first episode. To follow more anime episodes, please like and subscribe to the channel to receive. After that, Kanan's father summons his eldest son, Ixio, and informs him that he is considering sending Kanan to the school for nobles' children. He knows that Kanan has rarely left the palace since his birth and fears he might be afraid of strangers in the outside world. Therefore, he relies on Ixio to help his brother, Kanan. Ixio then remembers when he used to take his brother Kanan out for a change of scenery. Kanan was afraid to do so, but his brother asked him not to worry and said he would hold his hand. However, when Kanan tried to descend the stairs, he stumbled and fell to the ground. In that moment, Ixio decided that he would protect him no matter the cost. We then shift to Kanan and his maid, Aiko, who is tidying up his books. She asks him what he is reading now, and he tells her he is reading about water divination, which involves filling a specially treated bowl with water using a superpower, then reading the future in it or searching for lost items. Aiko gets excited and asks him if they can search for the flame of her early youth and her lost sparkle. Kanan laughs with her and tells her she is still young and in the prime of her youth. She asks him again if they can use this to search for her future husband. He replies that she is a wonderful woman and men would compete for her. In fact, if he weren't the son of the second lord, he would have married her himself. Aiko laughs because she is 10 years older than him. At that moment, their teacher, Flora, comes in and is very happy to see them laughing. After that, the teacher sits with him to go over his lessons. She is very impressed with him because he studies his lessons well. She had explained lectures to him and taught him how to behave like a respectful, noble gentleman. Therefore, she wants to make him a respectable man with a sense of humor as well, so no one will get bored of him, as this would suit him very well and make him more attractive. However, compared to their first meeting, he has simply become wittier. Kanan then offers to have a drink with her, telling her that this drink is aged 12 years from the New Kingdom and is worthy of the beautiful teacher Flora. However, Aiko informs him that he is mistaken and that this is just a local item from Huglia. At night, Kanan gets dressed along with Aiko. She tells him that his lord father is waiting for him and they must leave now. On their way, they find the weather to be very cold, so Aiko asks Kanan to use his power to make something to warm them. He actually does so, and when Aiko touches the balls of water, she finds them warm. Kanan tells her that he coated the water with a soft and stretchable film, but it is still a prototype. Aiko gets very excited and tells him she wants a bed made of this to sleep on. Kanan then thinks for a while, wondering what his father wants to talk to him about. He is worried that he might have made a mistake he isn't aware of. Aiko reassures him that he hasn't done anything and that he learned his lesson from the Sea of Blood incident. He then arrives at his father's palace, where Balin and Ixio receive them. Ixio asks Kanan to hold his hand to guide him, but Kanan refuses, saying he is fine and that he has become capable of sensing his surroundings better thanks to his magic. He then reaches Kanan's father and mother, who welcome him warmly. Afterwards, his father speaks, saying there is an important matter he wants to tell him. Flora had informed them that he finished what he was studying in the noble's curriculum, but the father wants him to enroll in the school. Kanan refuses, as he does not want to trouble those around him, and there is something he wants to prioritize over school. He asks if not going to school would constitute a problem. His father answers that children of the nobility are obligated to go to school, and officially, he is registered at the school for nobles. He knows his circumstances are exceptional, so the king gave permission for his schooling to be optional. Kanan falls silent for a moment because he feels there is favoritism involved. His father gets angry at what he said and tells him that this has nothing to do with their topic, and he must think about the matter. Kanan misunderstands and thinks he is referring to the way he uses his allowance. His father denies this, but Kanan interrupts, telling him that while it may seem he is wasting money, he spends it responsibly. They then argue about this topic. Afterward, Kanan apologizes to his father for what happened previously when he turned his garden into a sea of blood. His father replies that this is absolutely unacceptable, and next time he will cut his allowance for 6 months. Kanan's mother calms him down, telling him they didn't come here to talk about that. The father calms down and tells him that he asks him to think about the matter of Princess Milica. For anyone who does not fulfill the obligations of the nobility puts themselves in a difficult position in high society, and Princess Milica's reputation might be affected in the future because of him. Kanan understands from his father's words that it is his duty to enroll in the school. The father continues, saying he is not asking him to attend school for years. He only needs to pass the progression exams. Upon passing them successfully, he will receive an official graduation certificate. Since there are 5 exams, he only has to go to school 5 times. When Kanan hears this, he finds the matter very easy. His brother Ixio then tells him that he and Princess Milica will graduate after the next exam, so they will pass it together. When his mother finds that he agrees to go to school, she decides to get him ready to go, as he will need clothes, shoes, and a nice coat. First, they will take his measurements, so she asks Aiko to assist her with that. Afterwards, the father speaks with Ixio, informing him that there are other members of the royal family at the school who might try to approach Kanan and Princess Milica. Ixio reassures him that he will be accompanying them. We then shift to Princess Milica, who is with Kanan. She is very happy that he will be going to school. Kanan tells her that he is going only to pass the progression exams. Milica rejoices because she will be able to spend time with him at school. Kanan continues talking to her, saying he doesn't know what to expect from school. Milica reassures him and tells him she will accompany him as his senior classmate. Kanan agrees to this, but thinks that if she is with him, all the boys who admire her will be jealous of him. Milica doesn't care about such talk. She enjoys great popularity there because she is a princess, of course, and there are boys who admire her, but she will be with him only. Kanan then decides to renew his staff for self-defense. After that, Kanan gets ready to go to school. Everyone is dazzled by him because he is very beautiful and elegant. He then bids them farewell to go to the school. Before they leave, Kanan uses the Ori spell on the carriage wheels so they won't vibrate while moving, so his back won't get hurt. Ixio is dazzled by what he did and says that magic is absolutely amazing. Kanan tells him that since it is versatile, he might also be able to find a job in the future through this magic. Ixio replies that he knows he is nervous about traveling far from home for the first time. Kanan interrupts him, saying he is no longer as nervous as before because he has become stronger. He then asks Ixio to never fear for him again, as he knows that ever since his fall and injury, Ixio has been blaming himself, but he is fine now. But I used to wish I could disappear. Now, however, I am determined to survive no matter the cost. I have an ambition I will not give up on, even if the entire world were to vanish. I will live longer than everyone else, to the point where I will pity the human race. Ixio then speaks to himself, saying, I'm starting to doubt if my younger brother is right. This might be the maid's influence. Kanan then asks him, are we almost at the school? I feel the presence of many people. Ixio is surprised and says, yes, we are arriving very soon. Indeed, they arrive at the school and the princess receives them looking very happy. Kanan tells her he is happy to hear her voice and that she is doing well. We then see that Kanan can hear everything, including people's conversations with one another. He wants to play a game with the princess where he is a girl and she is the boy. The scene shifts to teacher Cass, looking at her watch and saying, the son of the second lord who bears the hero's scar. I heard rumors that he is a shy boy. Can a novice teacher like me handle the responsibility of guiding him around? She hears girls talking about a handsome student here at school, comparing him to a prince. Upon his entry, teacher Cass calls out to him and introduces herself as his guide. He then introduces himself to the teacher, telling her that he is currently playing the role of a girl. So let me curtsy to greet you. He is biologically male with a boy's personality, but today I am a girl and a beautiful girl. The teacher is amazed that he says this about himself. However, the princess speaks to him, saying she will go now and see him later at lunch, and they part ways. We then see teacher Cass afraid, feeling that this will be hard work for her. After that, we see some boys looking out the window and seeing Kanan. One boy speaks to them, saying, I heard he received the king's blessing as the first person born with the hero's scar in 100 years. But among them is Prince Lyle, who gets very angry at Kanan. When he sees the princess and Kanan saying goodbye to each other, he gets even angrier and leaves. Then we see teacher Cass with Kanan, telling him, if you pass 5 exams, you will receive your graduation certificate. Usually, after taking an exam, there is a preparation period for the next one. However, as an exception, the exams will be held over a shorter period. The king and your father asked me to do this with you. Kanan tells her, the king and my father are friends. This is favoritism. I apologize for forcing the school to do this. I've heard these things happen often in high society. Teacher Cass then gives him the papers, saying, tell me if anything needs clarification. Please begin. She thinks to herself, I want to ask you to tell me, but please don't drag me into political problems. However, we see Kanan insisting on telling teacher Cass about the relationship between the king and his father, as it is a relationship that began generations ago. After that, we see teacher Cass exhausted, talking to herself. I didn't expect him to keep chatting throughout the entire exam. And here is the result. This question and the rest of the subjects, all his answers are correct. This is illogical. We then go to the school cafeteria, where the princess is talking to Kanan, asking him what he wants to eat. Suddenly, Prince Lyle appears in front of them and asks her, did this brat get my father's blessing? Prince Lyle then tells his sister, the princess, not to interfere in this. Kanan talks to himself, saying, we were enjoying our time. I don't care who he is if he annoys the princess and blocks our way. Ixio steps in and asks Prince Lyle, do you want something from my brother? Prince Lyle speaks up, saying, this is disrespectful. I didn't give you permission to speak. The prince's friends then speak up and mock Ixio. We then see Kanan use his magic to gather water and place it on Prince Lyle's trousers, making it look as if he wet himself. When the prince sees this, he leaves hurriedly with his friends. Kanan then tells them he is very hungry and wants food. His brother gets angry at him, knowing he was the one who did that, but Kanan doesn't answer him and they go to eat. Kanan asks his brother Ixio, who was that person? The princess replies, he is my brother who is 1 year older than me, the 6th Prince Lyle. Kanan is surprised when he learns he is her older brother, because due to his behavior, he doesn't appreciate his younger siblings. Kanan says to Ixio, I didn't know. I am grateful that you are my older brother. Kanan eats the food and enjoys it very much. However, we see Ixio afraid of what happened, asking himself how he will report this to his father. The princess laughs, saying, this is Kanan's nature. Talking about it won't change anything. Let's enjoy our meals. Ixio then says to himself, let us graduate without any other incidents, please. We then see a scene of Prince Lyle, very angry about what happened to him. Thus ends today's episode of this anime. Wait for us in the upcoming episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive everything new. Hello, friends. Welcome back. Today, we are going to summarize the 3rd episode of that new anime, Kanan. This is the brave hero who possesses extremely high abilities. But before we start, write in the comments which country you are watching this anime from. Our episode begins with Prince Lyle standing in front of Kanan. Kanan then activates his water magic, which soaks the prince's clothes, as if the prince had wet himself. Lyle asks, I didn't do anything, but they tell him, your clothes are soaked. He gets angrier and yells, I told you I didn't do anything. Then they leave, but Lyle is absolutely furious and doesn't know when, where, or how this happened. The scene then shifts to Kanan, talking about Prince Lyle, saying, why did he stand in front of us in such a wild manner without trying to conceal his stupid, fierce aggression? His brother Axio tells him, he's like a monster, but he does it to keep your fiancé under control. He is the 6th prince, and she is the 9th princess. He doesn't want my status to rise above his, because right now I am only one rank below him. Soon our status will soar far above his, so he is very angry and doesn't want to allow us to succeed. The scene moves to Kanan with his academy instructor, Flora, who tells him, "Today is your final test and I must leave tonight." Kanan successfully completes the tests. Afterward, his brother comes to him and says, "Congratulations on your success." At that moment, Kanan's fiancée, Princess Milica, arrives, and he welcomes her warmly as he loves her very much. The scene shifts inside where the academy teacher informs them that they will be taking the final exam with other people. Kanan is sad that he won't be accompanied by teacher caste Flora, but she tells him, "Don't be sad. I will watch over you even if there are many students. Good luck. I am very proud of you. We got to know each other and talked a lot during the exams." She adds, "I used to like the boy you liked when you were little, but he unfortunately failed the exam. Now you have become the teacher." At that moment, a group of students approaches Princess Milica and asks, "Where is your fiancé? Please introduce him to us. He seems very charming." Kanan introduces himself, saying, "Hello everyone, I am pleased to meet you all. I am the fiancé of Princess Milica and the younger brother of Axio. I cannot see, but I see with a strong inner vision. I have a goal in life that I must achieve one day, and I am delighted to have friends like you now." Next, it is time for Prince Lyle's final test, but he wants to make the instructors wait for him. However, his friends inform him that the final test will be conducted all at once, and he must not be late. The final test has arrived, and all the students are seated, ready to begin. We see Kanan and Princess Milica seated next to each other. Prince Lyle approaches them at that moment, intending to cause more trouble. He remembers the servants talking about him, saying they heard he caused trouble at the academy again, but that they are forced to treat him with respect. He knows that everyone in the castle and school is afraid of him and can't say anything to his face, but they talk about him behind his back, which infuriates him. Kanan approaches Lyle to introduce himself as Princess Milica's fiancé and says he's happy to meet him. He extends his hand to shake Lyle's and refuses to let go. Lyle gets angry because Kanan's grip is extremely strong and he won't release his hand. Kanan tells him, "You have a masculine voice. I can tell by the touch. There is no doubt your face is also masculine. If I could see, I would look at your face without stopping." Lyle is utterly baffled and asks his sister Milica what Kanan is doing. Everyone laughs at Lyle because Kanan had severely embarrassed him. Lyle screams at Kanan to let go of his hand. Kanan finally does so, and everyone sits down for the instructor to announce the final exam results. After a moment of silence, the teacher congratulates them, announcing that they have all passed the final exam. Everyone is delighted with the success. Kanan congratulates his fiancée because they graduated together. After the graduation ceremony, Kanan decides to return to his hometown. Before leaving, he bids farewell to everyone at the academy, as he had a very enjoyable time with them. The instructor finds him strange, but smart and wonderful. Kanan tells her that since she was looking for a husband, his brother is available, and it would be easy for them to meet again. We then see Kanan at his castle, where he meets with Ginny, his private tutor, to continue his training. He is able to create a large sphere of water with his magic. Ginny asks him to stop and divide it into 10 spheres, color them red, blue, and yellow, and change their texture. Kanan is able to do everything she asks. Ginny congratulates him on what he accomplished. Afterward, Kanan transforms one of the spheres into a beautiful bird. Ginny is shocked by what he has done. After the training is over, they sit down to rest. Ginny tells him she wants to talk to him about something. Kanan thinks she wants to discuss the graduation celebration dinner, but she wants to talk about something else. She tells him that his graduation provides her with the perfect excuse to tell him the truth, but that he must be mentally prepared because she will reveal a shocking fact. Kanan asks Aku, an attendant, to leave them alone. Ginny tells Kanan that she cannot teach him anything more. She will stop her pitiful charade and tell him the truth. Basic magic without offensive ability. I taught you everything I could in this field. You now use magic better than me. You quickly surpassed me after learning new magic." Kanan replies, "That is not true. I was delighted by the magical states you invented and your attempts to deceive me in every possible way. The tricks you came up with out of desperation expanded the scope of my magical abilities. You are the one who gave me a goal in life, and your simple tricks taught me the depth of magic." Ginny responds, "If that's how you feel, then I should stop the simple tricks. It took mental effort for me to come up with them. I often struggled to invent even one of those tricks. I've told you the whole truth, and I don't want to resign because my salary is low. I can't stand taking a high wage without doing any work." She walks up to Kanan and says, "Your next instructor must be an exceptional sorcerer, far better than me, someone who can help you develop further. I can no longer guide you. You were able to accomplish what you did thanks to my lessons, but it's over now," Kanan tells her. "Even if they were simple tricks, if you can keep inventing them for a long time, then I want you to trick me. Trick me in an elegant way. I want you to be my instructor. Get it done, and don't bother me after this." Ginny then says to herself, "Kanan has what it takes to become a sorcerer. Despite his innate talent, he went through many trials and errors and challenged himself to overcome everything. I must not lose to my student. It's not too late for me." Then Aku informs Kanan that teacher Flora has officially left the Academy for Noble Children because she completed the curriculum. Aku adds that Flora didn't say goodbye because she doesn't like goodbyes, and she wants Kanan to ask about a servant at her palace because she wants to marry him. Kanan says he will write her a thank you letter for everything she did for him. But Aku insists, "I want to get married, and you'll be fine on your own." Kanan tells her that is absolutely wrong. "My first instructor left me, and if teacher Flora leaves me too, I won't have anyone left. I'll be like a rabbit who died of loneliness." He angrily tells her that he will not ask about a servant between the ages of 18 and 25, so that she doesn't get married and leave him. We then see everyone having dinner. Kanan tells his father that instructor Ginny advised him to look for another sorcerer to teach him. His brother Axio says he heard about someone named Zeon at the academy, who is an exceptional sorcerer that all the girls desire. His mother asks, "Is it Zeon Lee Finroll?" His son confirms it, saying he is handsome and extremely powerful. The father tells them that it is impossible to invite a royal sorcerer here. The title Royal Sorcerer refers to a rank within the royal palace. Excluding the king and those who serve him directly, no one can give them orders, and they rarely leave the castle. Commoners are forbidden from communicating with them, so it will be difficult to invite him here. Kanan suggests an idea. He will go with his father to the palace next time, and somehow, he will get lost in the castle. The royal sorcerer will be forced to help him if he runs into him nearby, and Kanan will become his apprentice one way or another. His father tells him the plan is terrible, but the mother begs the father to do something. The father promises that he will at least ask the king. Kanan thanks him for that. Finally, we see the king with his assistant, who informs him that a blind child from a noble family wants to train under the royal sorcerer. When the king learns that the child is Kanan, he is very surprised. And that is how our episode ends today. To follow the rest of the events, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get all the new updates. The king has called. Kanan arrives at the royal castle, but his unique magic and 4-star water crest are already causing chaos. Skating with a princess, defying the guards, this reckless genius has one ultimate goal: to create eyes using magic. Our episode today begins with Kanan and his father in the carriage. Kanan expresses his joy that His Majesty the King has agreed to meet them. His father informs him that the king will now consider requesting a magic magic tutor for him, as Conan's power has sparked the interest of the royal mages. The father then asks him what magic he has learned recently. Conan uses water magic to conjure a black cat out of a water bubble. His father is dazzled by his power, noting that Conan can now control the colors of objects with ease and transform water into anything he desires. Conan adds that he wants to study magic more extensively to become a great mage. His father mentions that while he loves cats very much, he dislikes raising them because if he had such a cute cat in the house, he would never get anything done in his life. Conan suggests that if he utilized the wealth and influence of the Gurion family, he could collect cute cats from all over the world. He then adds that Iko told him that raising cats outdoors reflects a certain status for nobles, while bringing them inside is considered rude, and that Princess Milica agreed with this view. His father replies that it isn't a bad idea at all. Upon arriving at the castle, they are welcomed by Raisha Sama. Conan introduces himself to Raisha, and his father explains that she is the second princess and the sister of his future wife. Conan tells her he is very happy to meet her, and she replies that her sister, Milica, has spoken often about him and was eager for them to meet. She remarks that the cat is very cute, prompting Conan to use his magic to turn the cat back into water. Impressed, the princess tells the father that she will take Conan to the Black Tower while the father goes to meet the king. Conan says he can return home alone, but his father insists on having a carriage prepared to take him back. Conan and the princess head to the Black Tower. On the way, he asks her about the essence of mages, the interpretation of composite magic, and how to link old interpretations with new ones. The princess tells him to slow down, as she is still a beginner and cannot engage in such a high-level conversation. Conan says, "Fine, no doubt you heard from Milica that there are 7 princes and 10 princesses, and the high ratio of girls is wonderful." He notes that while the first prince inherits the throne in most countries, in Huglia, the most worthy rules, not the eldest. The princess reveals that she renounced her claim to the throne in exchange for becoming a mage. As they walk, Conan suddenly senses many magical powers. He looks toward the Black Tower, wondering about the strange energy. He then begins walking in a peculiar manner, surprising the princess. He explains that he used his magic to turn water into ice and placed it under his shoes to walk more easily. She asks him to cast the same magic on her, and he does, allowing them to skate together. The guards, fearing for the princess's safety, try to stop her, but fail. Then, Knight Dario appears, orders them to stop immediately, and takes them to the palace garden, where they apologize for their recklessness. Meanwhile, Conan's father asks a worker about the commotion outside, and is told that a reckless mage child endangered the princess. Realizing it is Conan, the father becomes angry. Finally, we go to the Black Tower to see the chief royal mage, Lunamond, who welcomes Conan. The teacher realizes that Conan's magic is strange and unique. He informs Conan that he bears a water crest on his left shoulder. He explains that mages bear 7 crests: fire, water, earth, wind, light, darkness, and corruption, and each crest has 5 ranks. Conan asks if that means his water crest is of the second to last rank. The teacher confirms this. The princess mentions she has a 2-star wind crest, while the teacher notes that Conan bears a 4-star crest. Conan admits it is the first time he has heard of these crests, so he hasn't fully grasped the concept, and then asks if the difference in ranks affects the magic a mage can use. Lunamond replies that there is no specific classification, and the only clear difference they know of is the magnitude of magical power. However, what truly matters is what he learns from now on, and his level of dedication. Conan thanks him for his assistance, and they proceed to the courtyard for training so Lunamond can test Conan. Everyone is already dazzled by him and his magic, despite him being just a child, noting that Sir Dario certainly had a difficult time dealing with him earlier. The onlookers are filled with curiosity to see what kind of magic Conan will perform. Conan asks the master to proceed with the test, knowing that if he succeeds, he will be taught how to further use magic. Victo begins by using magic, and then it is Conan's turn to show everyone how he can overcome Victo's spells with his own. Conan tries to focus, recalling when he was with Jenny, and she used magic to produce and manipulate water in front of him. He remembers that he is capable of controlling pre-existing water, and recalls her words about her ability to control water many times. However, he fears he might not succeed in manipulating magic produced by another mage. Despite his hesitation, Kanan forces himself to try moving the water spheres. He finds it difficult, as he has never encountered such resistant water before. Ultimately, he manages to divert only 2 spheres. He feels deeply frustrated, believing this performance does not meet the qualifications of a royal mage. Surprisingly, Lunimon congratulates him on his achievement, calling him skilled, as he never expected Kanan would be able to seize control of any of the spheres. Victo then asks the master for permission to take care of the child himself, but everyone refuses, pointing out that Victo cannot even take care of himself. Lunimon is pleased that everyone wants to look after Kanan, signifying he passed the test. However, the master wants to conduct further experiments with him, as he wishes to see more of Kanan's own magic. Kanan happily agrees. He then casts a spell to create a massive sphere of water, which Lunimon proceeds to play with. He uses his magic to encase the water in a soft, elastic film. Risha remarks, "Imagine the quality of sleep on a bed made of this. It might help cushion the shock of a fall." Lunimon then speaks to Kanan, saying, "I haven't enjoyed a magic test this much in years." Kanan tells him, "If you increase its elasticity, you can bounce high enough to reach the 2nd floor of the castle." Everyone wants to try it, but Lunimon refuses, stating, "If you show us any more magic, we won't be able to go home tonight and we won't let you leave." Risha approaches him and asks if he can create animals other than cats or fashion human shapes as well. Kanan replies yes, and uses his magic to form a human-shaped doll out of water. He adds, "However, regarding animals, their movement still has flaws. I tried moving them like humans or making them move in ways humans cannot. I even made one fly as an experiment, but that wasn't well received. Indeed, he makes the doll fly around the palace, frightening many people." Kanan, Lunimon, and the others then go to apologize. Afterward, Lunimon tells Kanan, "Do not be sad. Frustration won't change anything. We will discuss magic next time. I enjoyed your magic greatly, so there is no need for further questions. I will personally handle appointing a mage to teach you." Kanan rejoices, saying, "Does this mean I am aligning with a specific faction within the royal family?" Risha replies, "Influence and status mean nothing to the royal mages, but we do want to know your future goal." Kanan informs them it is to create eyes using magic. The scene then shifts to Kanan's father, who says, "I have heard reports of my son's bad reputation twice today. What is the meaning of this?" Kanan apologizes to him, saying, "It is not my fault. We all just got a bit carried away today." Richa tells Kanan's father that they all went too far. He replies, "I disagree. Regardless of the situation, those who use magic must bear responsibility for their actions. Harming someone just because you were asked to, or killing others because you were ordered to, things like this must not be allowed. Magic is power." He advises Kanan, saying, "Whoever asks something of you, refuse if it will hurt others. As long as you possess power, you must take responsibility." Kanan apologizes to him. Kanan's father leaves and speaks to himself, saying, "But I am surprised he stayed in that tower until this late hour. It seems they are fond of you, Kanan." Then Richa asks Kanan, "Don't you have to go meet Milica? You are having dinner with her?" He asks, "Is it late?" She replies, "Darkness has begun to fall." He tells her, "It would be improper to receive the princess while I am sweating and panting from exhaustion." Richa uses her magic to conjure a large bubble of water and tells him, "I bear the wind crest. If we fly in this using my magic, we will reach Milica in the blink of an eye." He replies, "That is an exciting experiment, but it won't work. I promised myself that the first person I fly or float with would be Princess Milica. Undoubtedly, your fiancé would also misunderstand and blame you for flying with another man." Richa grabs his hand, pulls him onto the water drop, and tells him she does not have a fiancé. Then they use their magic to make the bubble float in the air. She asks him, "Are you ready to fly?" The bubble soars into the sky. Kanan asks, "Isn't this too fast?" She tells him, "The situation is fine for now. Let's speed up even more." She tells him they have arrived, and Kanan thanks her. Suddenly, they fall to the ground screaming. Richa says, "It's a good thing it's flexible," and apologizes to him, saying, "I should have lowered the speed and altitude gradually." He replies, "But now we know it is capable of flight." She tells him, "We need to conduct more experiments." Then his father comes to them and says, "You have done another dangerous thing. This is the 3rd time for you two." They apologize to him. Then we see Milica getting ready. She asks her maid, "Do you think this color will appeal to Kanan?" Her maid replies, "It is your favorite color, princess. There is no doubt it will appeal to him." The maid speaks to herself, saying, "To make the princess this infatuated, what kind of man is Kanan?" Later, Conan's father speaks to Richa, saying, "You seem to not realize that you are a member of the royal family. You are the one who must respect the laws." And so, today's episode ends. If you liked the video, please hit like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all the new updates. The anime episode begins with Milica and her maid, Laura. Milica is extremely flustered because this is her first date with Kanan outside the castle. Laura tries to calm her down. Just then, Kanan arrives. Milica pretends to be uninterested, but quickly rushes out to meet him, excited to see him. When they meet, Kanan tries to be charming, telling her that the moon is beautiful tonight, and while he unfortunately cannot see it, it is always by his side, and he wishes to be her escort for the evening. Laura is surprised by his words, as this is the first time he has ever spoken in such a manner. Kanan then takes her to a lovely restaurant where they share their favorite drinks. Kanan praises Milica again, then speaks about the Black Tower he visited today. Everyone there was impressed, including Milica's sister, Richa. He succeeded in the test, and while they haven't told him who his tutor will be, he is confident they will arrange it wisely. He continues to shower Princess Milica with compliments. He tells her he heard many exciting stories, like those that glitter as bird-repelling charms guided by the wind over the wheat fields. Princess Milica is delighted with him. Kanan then informs her that this dinner is the most he can currently offer, but after their marriage, they will spend a long time like this together every day. He cannot wait for the future they will walk toward together. Milica blushes deeply at his words. After the dinner ends, the princess returns home. The next morning, Eku Aqua decides to do laundry and asks Kanan to help. Kanan uses his magic to help Eku Aqua remove the dirt from the clothes. They talk about how Kanan has been locking himself in his room since returning from the castle, which is improper, because he needs to go out and spend time in the sunlight, one of the most important duties of children, as it could affect his growth. Kanan, however, wants to write his report before he forgets. Once Eku Aqua finishes the laundry, Kanan asks her if any letter has arrived, as he is expecting news from the academy. Eku Aqua tells him nothing has come. The scene shifts to Victor as he heads to Teacher Zeon's room. He apologizes for coming unannounced and knows Zeon was sleeping, but the headmaster summoned him. The scene returns to Kanan, who learns at that moment that his new tutor has been decided, Teacher Zeon. He is an excellent teacher, rumored to be an incredibly handsome wizard whom all the women in Hyuglia know. When Eku Aqua learns it is Zeon, she decides to ask Kanan's father for a new maid uniform so she can appear cute before him. Next, we see Milica styling her hair with her sister, Richa, as they prepare to go out. They discuss how a royal sorcerer needs a direct order from the king to leave the castle, but Milica's protection will be reason enough to go out comfortably. They change the subject to Teacher Zeon, and Richa wonders why he was chosen, as she had wanted to be Kanan's tutor. On their way, they meet Avril and Ladalia, who welcome them and mention that they know Milica's fiancé is an excellent wizard. Richa orders them not to interact with Kanan. The scene shifts to Kanan, who is waiting for his teacher in the garden. Milica arrives at that moment with Teacher Zeon. Kanan welcomes her and tells her he mentally prepares himself every time before meeting her, which is why he is suddenly speechless with nervousness after seeing her, as she is extremely beautiful. However, since he is blind, he doesn't know what it feels like to be stared at. Suddenly, Kanan senses a strange presence among them and understands that Teacher Zeon has arrived because his magical power is very dense and sticky, like honey. A magical power completely different from the headmaster's and more skilled than any royal sorcerer in the castle. He wants to take him as a role model and teacher. Kanan welcomes him. The teacher tells him he hates brats and hasn't yet agreed to teach him magic, having only come here against his will due to the strict hierarchical relationships. He adds that the old man Londaman told him there was an interesting brat he must meet. Dario apologizes and introduces himself as the Knight of the Third Squad, here to guard the princess and Zeon. Kanan thanks him for what he did that day, though he doesn't know him personally, having only experienced the snake staring at the frog 3 times with him. Kanan speaks to Eku Aqua and asks about Zeonli, the handsome wizard. Eku Aqua confirms that he is of fine presence. Kanan replies, "Since I am blind, I don't grasp the splendor of people, but no doubt you are amazing." Kanan then thanks the princess for bringing Zeonli for his sake. The princess responds, "No, I came to see you too." Zeonli becomes angry. "Stop the flirting. Let's have a discussion about magic." He asks Kanan about composite spells. Kanan replies, "A spell is cast from a magic circle drawn with magical power. Composite spells are created by dividing the magic circles and rearranging them. It's about 31 divisions, and I raise the number to 32, but I sometimes fail." Zeonli asks him if he can handle 50 divisions, and wants to know how he overcomes the 20-division obstacle. Kanan answers, "I stacked the magic symbols. I figured that out myself and used several simple tricks, but describing them as simple tricks seems to give a bad impression, so I call them modifications." Zeonli remembers his friends telling him Kanan was excellent and unparalleled. He understands the reason for their strong desire to teach him. He possesses exceptional talent. He adds that it's unnecessary to learn how to deal with 50 divisions because there is no benefit in teaching that to someone who cannot do it. "I won't waste my time. Prove your abilities, then ask for fair instruction." Kanan agrees because he wants to learn and tells Zeonli, "I would like to see your generosity, kindness, tenderness, and financial status that you show occasionally. I can see none of that. I have no problem flattering you if it means I will learn to handle 50 divisions." We notice that Zeonli is angry. He says, "I have many things to tell you, but first, do not call me teacher, and I will show you how awesome I am. My earth shield has 3 stars. He activates this wall and asks Kanan to try to destroy it with magic. "I heard your waterbed is popular," he adds. We see Kanan use his magic. When Zeonli touches Kanan's bed, he finds it soft. It is a pile of ostrich feathers, not just soft, but warm and sweetly scented. Zeonli then sleeps on it. Kanan begins to examine the wall. He finds it solid, but its texture is smooth. It looks simple at first glance, but the density of the magical power is astonishing. It is strong enough to maintain solidity over time. Magic is a symbol. A symbol means a magic circle. The user creates several spells by rearranging different magic circles. The magic circle becomes the basis of every spell. Composite magic refers to the number of times the basic magic circle is divided and recreated. It is the essence of magic, and this number shows the level of magic and the modifications. It is a composite magic crystal with more than 40 divisions. This is amazing. How was he able to raise the divisions to this number? Kanan goes with the princess, and they will wait until Zeonli wakes up. Kanan reassures her, "Don't worry, I will be able to destroy the wall in the blink of an eye." Afterward, Zeonli wakes up and asks Kanan if he gave up. We see Kanan use his magic, saying, "I will infuse it with dust that makes it very brittle when it absorbs water beyond its capacity. I knew it immediately because its texture was similar to hard bread designed to break teeth. I thought this would be easy." Zeonli tells him, "Instead of using force, you saw that the wall was made of dust and decided to dissolve it. Spells compatible with specific phenomena. It is the wizard's duty to realize that. Starting today, you are my disciple. You are the luckiest child in the world because I will become your teacher. But be aware that your teacher is higher in rank than your fiancé. I have broken my student. There are many things to do because I have many things to teach you, and you will help me with my experiments." He turns to the princess and says, "He is my disciple now. He will improve greatly and rise in the world, and soon women will swarm around him and fight over him." The princess says to herself, "Kanan has matured and become a royal sorcerer's disciple, but I am still a princess of low standing. If I don't act, there will be no future for us together." Kanan gets angry at Zeonli, saying, "Do not treat the princess so poorly. It is clear you enjoy annoying girls. You are the type who realizes things too late, and the type who treats the girl he likes with malice. You are difficult to deal with and feel embarrassed that you cannot treat girls kindly." The scene then cuts to the princess in her room, saddened. She says, "I must change, and I must do something." This is how today's episode of this anime ends. Wait for us in the next episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all that is new. Prepare to witness genius at work. This episode plunges us into the world of Kanan, a prodigy pushing the boundaries of magic with 3D circles and complex spells under his uncompromising tutor, Zeon. His ambition is monumental: to use magic to gain his sight. Alongside his devoted fiancée, Milica, Kanan faces every challenge head-on, turning knowledge into power. Will his dedication finally let him see the faces of the people he loves? Find out now. The anime episode begins with Kanan meeting his tutor, Zeon. Kanan greets him, but Zeon appears utterly uncompromising. Kanan is extremely excited, welcoming any rigorous training, and even jokes he'll cry if the tutor goes easy on him. Kanan immediately begins using his magic, forming a three-dimensional magic circle and an inclined or tilted one. His specific request is for the 50-section compound spell. Tutor Zeon then continues the training. Kanan finds Zeon has made copies of his journals, art notes, and Kanan thanks him, noting this will greatly help with the lessons. Zeon asks the servants and Milica to wait outside until the lesson is over, as the material concerns state secrets. Afterward, the tutor asks Kanan to use his power to create a large sphere to sleep on. Milica steps out with Akko, and they discuss fencing practice. Milica mentions she has just started and needs a lot of improvement, wanting to train whenever possible. Milica then trains with one of the knights, who manages to defeat her and knock her sword away. Milica is frustrated because she wants to become a suitable woman for Kanan. She continues her training diligently. We return to Kanan, who is now copying the remaining parts of Tutor Zeon's journals. He's finished half, but attempting to decipher the scribbles has exhausted him, describing the writing as looking like an earthworm wriggling aimlessly by the side of the road, having carelessly emerged from the warmth of the damp soil. The tutor orders him not to compare his wisdom to a hopeless state and to stop complaining, explaining that information and knowledge are different. What Kanan analyzes in his mind and records with his own hands makes his body remember it always. This is true knowledge, entirely different from mere information, and knowledge becomes power. Kanan is deeply impressed. Before leaving for the day, Zeon instructs Kanan to ensure everything is complete before his next visit, mentioning a journal with a schematic diagram he will explain next time. Kanan agrees. Kanan then bids farewell to his fiancée, Milica, telling her he is happy to see her so often now, thanks to the tutor's visits. 2 years pass, and Kanan is now 10 years old. He visits the academy, where teachers and friends greet him warmly. Teacher Victo asks him to participate in a magic battle. Rishia refuses to allow it, claiming Kanan promised her a magical flight experiment, and it is her turn. At that moment, Tutor Zeon arrives, declaring he is there for his visit. He prepares to take Kanan to his room for the lesson. The teachers are angry at Zeon and refuse to let him take Kanan. The tutor then asks Kanan to use his power to put them to sleep, which Kanan promptly does. They head to the room. Once inside, the tutor asks Kanan if he knows what magic tools devices are. Kanan answers that they are tools that operate using a wizard's magical energy. Zeon shows him that a simple lamp is a magic tool and that magic engineers are wizards who make a living by creating these devices. Kanan is astonished by the tutor's room, which is filled with drawings and Zeon's journals. He spots a specific spell book and is so thrilled he admits he had tried to rely on his father's collusion with the king to get it. He tells Zeon he wants to live there always. His tutor assures him he can have everything he desires from that room. Zeon then shows Kanan a magical device he is currently developing, the one from the schematic drawing. Once completed, they will be able to eat a hot meal in the room without having to go to the kitchen. Zeon explains that his earth magic is useful for forming shapes, but small details and flexible parts are not easy. Kanan's water magic, however, is capable of creating them, and he will ultimately help with the work, which will also count as valuable experience. The headmaster, chief tutor, then arrives, stating, "As I promised, why don't we discuss the essence of magic?" We see Kanan activating his magic to put the headmaster to sleep to escape his talk. Zeon remarks to Kanan that earth magic is capable of strengthening the external structure. Kanan replies that water magic is better suited for creating small internal mechanisms. The scene moves to the palace, where everyone is gathered. Victo speaks to Kanan, saying, "If you want to change your tutor, do not hesitate to say so." Kanan answers that Zeon is an amazing tutor, and since water and earth magic are compatible, he could not find a better mentor, expressing gratitude to the headmaster for the assignment. Zeon asks Kanan not to talk too much because he feels embarrassed. Kanan then requests the princess join him for tea. An attendant informs him that the princess is preparing for her entrance ceremony to the nobles' high school today and was disappointed she couldn't see him, having begun her advanced studies. Kanan asks if he needs to take the graduation exam. The headmaster explains that the magic school is where talented wizards from all over the world enroll. All royal wizards graduated from that school. He must be 12 years or older to enroll, so he has plenty of time, but the headmaster wants him to consider it. The scene cuts to 2 years later. At the palace, we see Kanan using magic with his tutor. The princess and those with her are impressed by Kanan's successful work. They sit together. Kanan remarks, "If this magical device works, there's no doubt the tutor is earning some money from it and keeping it all to himself." Zeon replies, "I allowed you to conduct priceless experiments." The maid attendant states that Kanan is unparalleled and realized his talent better than anyone else. Kanan informs the princess that they collaborated on 7 magic tools, 5 new magic theory research papers, and compiled a guide to magic experiments. He is currently working on another tool, a box that attracts many insects. Zeon cuts in, saying, "I can do the rest myself." He reminds Kanan that using the word ordinary sounds unprofessional and asked him not to say that. Zeon tells Kanan that since he will be 12 soon, he must prepare to enroll in the magic school. Kanan is saddened. He doesn't want to enroll, saying he doesn't need to because Zeon is his tutor, and he wants to learn magic alongside him and work until exhaustion. The tutor tells Kanan that he will turn 12 this spring and must enroll in the magic school. He explains that he completed the revised copies of the journals and magic tool schematics because, as an earth mage, he cannot teach Kanan all of water magic, and the world is much larger than Hulia, the name of their domain. Kanan still insists he wants to stay with his tutor. Princess Milica intervenes, asking him to go to the magic school, become an astonishing wizard, and promising to wait for his return. Kanan agrees to go. Kanan asks the tutor what exactly he needs to do to prepare for the magic school. Should he take his clothes and the pillow he sleeps on? Zeon tells him to prepare with his studies, or something similar, and then the tutor departs. Kanan goes to his room, musing to himself about how he forgot the most important goal he lives for. He reflects that because he learned so much without needing sight, he felt in his heart that he could continue this way. The scene transitions to Milica in a carriage with tutor Dario, and she is crying, saying she can't handle this. Dario tells her to stop crying. She explains that over the past 2 years, Kanan has established an impressive record as a wizard, and if he succeeds in restoring his sight with magic, he will be the first person in history to achieve such a feat. She fears that if he goes far away, he might leave her behind. Milica confesses to Dario that a part of her can't help but wish Kanan would not gain his sight, so he would stay by her side. Dario tells her there is light and darkness in everyone's hearts, but she must not let either consume her and must choose the right path. He reassures her everything is okay and notes that she hasn't only been training her body over the past 2 years. Milica's tutor, Dario, then recounts all the magic he taught Kanan: the 55-section compound spell, the 3D magic circle, the fixed cylindrical magic circle, illusory symbols, rheological sand patterns, and the magic tools, asking, "Am I not the best tutor of all time?" Milica asks if Kanan's use of all this knowledge will enable him to see. The tutor says he doesn't know. Milica asks if everything he taught Kanan was a lie. The tutor replies that he has never heard of a way to create eyes, and from now on, the matter rests with Kanan. But he is certain Kanan will succeed because he is the student he is most proud of. The scene cuts to Kanan preparing his Aori magic. He muses to himself, "The tutor said an insect's eye contains more than 10,000 mirrors, but even if it reflects many things, none of them reach me." He attempts to use his power, but fails. He then goes to his brother and asks him to join him at the steam bath. His brother is overjoyed and asks if he invited their father. Kanan says he doesn't want to wake him up. His brother replies, "It's worse not to wake him. Dad loves the steam bath you create." They go to wake their father, who is happy, and asks, "Is it steam bath time?" Kanan tells him to lower his voice so their mother doesn't wake up. His father says not waking his mother would be even worse. They all go to the steam bath and enjoy themselves. Kanan says it's the best way to refresh. His brother says, "If you're stuck, it must be a real challenge." Kanan replies that it is the biggest experiment I have ever undertaken. They are shocked. Kanan tells them he is still far from his goal. His brother tells him to take a break anytime he needs it, and his father assures him he is at his service for whatever he requires. Kanan thanks them. The scene cuts to Kanan eating and talking to himself, saying, Everyone treats me kindly. I can't wait to see their faces. He wonders what they look like and says, I want to see what they see. He resumes his training using his power, stating, the foundation is the water mirror. I applied a rheological sand pattern to its surface to allow the pattern to read the moving scene and send it to my mind. There is no complex composition or targeting mechanism. All I had to do was think simply, without worrying about the numbers or the range. He succeeds and opens his eyes, astonished. This is the view then! This is sight! He cries with joy because he can now see, exclaiming, I created eyes using magic! And that's how today's episode ends. If you like the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all our new content. The anime episode begins with Kanan cooling himself down. He had decided beforehand that the first person he'd look at, if he ever gained his sight, would be himself. He hated himself so much because he was unable to do anything on his own and struggled with everything. He constantly burdened those around him, always fell and always hurt himself. The person he hated most in the entire world was himself. When he finally manages to open his eyes and see, he looks at himself. He realizes he's not impressive at all. He doesn't even have a beard yet because he's still young. He'd always wondered if looking at his own face would make him hate himself more, or if it might make him happy. He didn't know if he would ever love himself. He looks behind him and sees this massive thing entering. Just then, Akko walks in. Kanan tries to hide the thing, but he realizes it must be invisible, and no one but him can see it. When he looks at Akko, he finds her beautiful, and her hair is neat. He hadn't realized a maid's uniform suggested cleanliness. Akko is shocked when she realizes he can see and is extremely happy that he has achieved his goal. She congratulates him profusely. At that moment, she decides to tell his father immediately, as they must prepare a celebratory feast for dinner. Kanan tells her he's craving creamy crab croquettes. Then he notices a long horn on her head. Akko is confused because the horn only appears when she is angry, but she is happy now, so it shouldn't be visible. Kanan then steps outside the castle to look at the beautiful scenery. Suddenly, the color of everything around him changes to a dark, gloomy shade. The sky is very dark, and everything is a deep, dim color. He is shocked because this is not what he had imagined. Akko comes to him to give him his jacket because it's very cold outside. He thanks her and then asks if she sees anything behind him. Akko gets very excited, thinking there's a huge, thrilling story, but Kanan ignores her and starts to walk away. She runs after him. As they walk, Kanan thinks about how his experiment succeeded and he can see, but there's something strange happening. He goes to his mother and brother to tell them that his experiments were successful and he can see. They are overjoyed. His mother hugs him, proud and happy. When Kanan looks closely at them, he sees his brother has wings and his mother's eyes are mismatched. He doesn't know what's happening to them. They sense that something is off with him, but he quickly changes the subject, telling his mother she is very beautiful, like a legendary adventure heroine, and that his father is wonderful too. He asks his mother if his parents are kings who fell from the sky. His father answers in surprise, saying he knows this and that his parents are indeed kings. He quietly asks Akko, are there humans in this world who have wings? She replies that they are all born with wings and must spread their wings of freedom to soar in the sky of the mind. Kanan pays no attention to her words, only caring about food. When he looks at his mother again, he notices she has the eyes of an adventure heroine and wings. These are non-physical things, and he is the only one who can see them. At that moment, his father returns, loudly shouting his son Kanan's name because he can see. Suddenly, when Kanan looks at his father, he sees he looks like a ghost, surrounded by a large white aura. His father tells him they will celebrate tonight, and they must notify the castle staff to decorate the place with many beautiful flowers so Kanan can enjoy looking at them. Akko adds that she will cook him lots of creamy crab croquettes, so he only has to wait for her here. Kanan asks his brother about their father, noting that he seems like a mist within the family, but his brother doesn't answer and gets angry, saying Kanan will upset their father. Kanan then says, I will go to my teacher and ask for advice. The scene then shifts to another young man entering Zeon's room, telling him there is a message from the head teacher. The king has allowed him to leave, so he can go. He suggests there might be good news. The scene changes to the princess arriving at Kanan's palace. He He welcomes her, and she is very happy that Kanan has achieved his dream. Kanan then uses his magic. We see this thing speaking, saying, "It is the eye of the woman that reflects everything. I call it the glass eye. I worked hard to be able to see your face because I am overwhelmed with excitement, and my heart is beating heavily like a little girl's, but I am actually a little boy." He looks at the princess and praises her beauty, calling her a stunning blonde like the sun's rays, with blue eyes like ice. She is more beautiful than he imagined, resembling the beauty of a magnificent bird's feather. Part 8. The Omen and Dario. The maid then informs the princess that he is referring to freedom and potential. If she pursues freedom in the sky, a massive middle-aged man with a beard will appear to lock her in a silver cage. Afterward, Dario tells her, "You have the ability to defeat the massive middle-aged man with a beard with a single blow." He then congratulates Kanan on his achievement. Kanan thanks him and comments that Dario has a wonderful sword. Suddenly, a very strong beam of light appears. Kanan says, "That's my teacher. I can't see you clearly because you're glowing." He then tells the teacher that Dario has a magnificent white sword. He then says, "I need to talk to you about something." The scene shifts to this room, and we see the teacher laughing loudly, saying, "This is illogical. A giant crab accompanying you, Dario carrying a huge sword, and a feather atop the princess's head." Kanan replies, "If I ask the princess to marry me, or if I move to a new house, I will bring a crab with me, and a feather will top the princess's head." The teacher answers, "Your future plan is good, but the landscape colors look different, and you said I was glowing. I'm the most radiant person in the world, but I don't rival the sun. I have two hypotheses. The first is a pattern of spirit vision, how you see spirit forms. The second is a pattern caused by magic sickness, visual hallucinations that gather magical energy at some points, while other places may become conduits for spiritual energy. I visited one of these places, and it rendered me useless, as if I were drunk after many cups. I saw non-physical things in my fading consciousness, but we cannot determine which of the two states this is." Kanan is surprised by the mention of non-physical things. The teacher tells him they cannot determine which of the two states it is because they don't have enough data. If he sees more, they might be able to discover a pattern. Kanan asks the teacher, "Was this a failure?" The teacher answers, "No, because it is the masterpiece of my dear student. There are many creatures in nature that don't see colors, creatures with many eyes, and blind creatures like Kanan. No one knows what the correct way to see is, because they can see things in their own way. And who knows, Kanan might report something he sees that is extremely important. If it's too difficult for you, you can seal it, but if not, keep seeing." Kanan tells the teacher he is right because he has only just started to see. The teacher advises him, "For the time being, don't tell anyone you see things until you discover the pattern and draw a conclusion. Some might find it strange." Kanan agrees and is pleased he sought his advice. The scene shifts to Akko and Milica talking about Kanan and the teacher still conversing, noting that he just completed his eyes, and no doubt he has much to discuss. Milica asks Akko if Kanan's birthday is approaching and what gift would make him happy. Akko says she is sure he will be happy with anything Milica gives him. Kanan arrives and apologizes to Milica for the delay. The teacher laughs at Kanan and says, "I imagine a feather coming out of her head." Milica asks Kanan if everything is all right. Kanan tells her, "Don't worry, it was just a private conversation with the teacher." He asks her what she was talking about with Akko. Akko says, "That was a private conversation." The scene moves to Akko and Kanan in the room. Akko asks him what he's doing with all those books. Kanan tells her he has read them all, so he will leave them in the main building's library. Akko is surprised because she didn't know the room was that spacious. The scene transitions to Kanan's 12th birthday celebration. Kanan thanks Milica and his family for attending his birthday. Kanan's father gives him a birthday gift and says, "It might be a little heavy, but it's durable and will last a long time." Kanan thanks him. His mother gives him his birthday gift, which is a pen, and tells him to study well with it. Kanan thanks her. Kanan's brother gives him his gift, a food map book, telling him he searched for good restaurants on the way to the magic school. Kanan's mother cries because he will be moving far away since the school is distant. Kanan's brother tells her not to worry because he will graduate quickly. His father agrees and says even if he is far, he loves him. Milica asks Kanan, "Are you finished preparing for your trip?" He replies, "Yes, I'll take comfortable clothes and essential items. I'll buy anything else I need there." She tells him she will be at school on the day of his departure and apologizes for not seeing him off. He tells her, "Don't worry, you have a duty to fulfill, princess." She wishes him a happy birthday and gives him her gift. He thanks her and asks if he can open it. He opens it, is surprised by it, and thanks her. She tells him she wears a matching bracelet. He is astonished, saying, "Wearing something identical to you, princess, surpasses any royal crown. Even my teacher's teeth will ache from worry if I overwhelm him with this radiance." She tells him, "If you face difficulty at school, talk to it as if you were talking to me. I will do the same." He tells her he will write to her and return to her no matter what happens. She replies, "I will be waiting for you." He asks her to take care of herself until then. In the morning, we see the family tearfully saying goodbye to Kanan. Kanan's father tells his wife, "Let's say goodbye without crying. I'm sure he is more worried than anyone else." Kanan leaves without saying anything to his family. They are confused by his behavior. His brother, Eksu, says, "Kanan changed a lot because of that maid." His father replies, "I think he changed for the better." Then Kanan uses his power to move the car forward. Kanan waves goodbye, saying, "See you in 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. Anyway, I'll be back in a few years." His father asks him to take care of himself, and his mother tells him, "Don't catch a cold." Kanan bids them farewell. He then talks to himself, saying, "The School of Magic. I wonder what kind of sorcerers I'll meet there." And with that, today's episode ends. If you liked the video, please hit like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all our new updates. The episode begins with Kanan and Akko, 5 days after departing the palace, traveling toward the school in Derashik. While passing through the kingdom of Huglia, Akko asks how much longer the journey will take. Kanan replies that it will take about a month, but notes they will soon reach his grandfather's estate. They discuss their upcoming parting, as this is Akko's chance to find a husband. Having already passed the typical marriage age, she feels this is her final opportunity to pursue a life of her own. Kanan is visibly upset at the thought of her leaving, claiming he cannot live without her, but Akko laughs and reassures him that even if she marries and leaves, Princess Milica will be by his side forever. Upon arriving at the grandfather's estate, Kanan is flooded with memories. He hasn't visited in 4 years, not since he first heard of a massive library in the area containing rare magic books, which prompted his entire family to bring him there. At that time, he had dedicated himself entirely to learning magic. His grandfather emerges to give them a grand, emotional welcome, expressing how much he has missed Kanan. When the grandfather asks about his daughter's well-being, Kanan jokingly replies that his mother is in great health and could still defeat him in a fight at any time. Thrilled, the grandfather decides he must buy Kanan a gift to celebrate his enrollment in the magic school. Akko hands the grandfather a letter from his daughter, but he ignores it at first, insistently asking Kanan what he wants. When he finally reads the letter, he discovers his daughter has strictly forbidden him from spending more than 500,000 Nika on the boy. This outrages the grandfather, who argues that such a small sum isn't enough for a child's needs. He tells Kanan he will secretly spend as much as he likes as long as his daughter doesn't find out, even proposing to buy him a massive ship. Kanan refuses the extravagant offer and instead asks his grandfather to call for the new maid who will replace Akko. The new maid, Rinko Round, is introduced. An 18-year-old who took the job for the competitive pay. Rinko dreams of opening her own shop and saving for her wedding. Kanan welcomes her warmly, knowing she is Akko's younger sister and that Akko suggested the role to her. Unlike her older sister, Rinko is already engaged and plans to open the shop with her fiancé. Kanan feels relieved to see the resemblance between the sisters, as he was worried a new maid might not understand his specific sense of humor. The scene then shifts to Akko and Rinko discussing Kanan. Rinko admits she was nervous because he is the son of a marquis and a magician bearing the hero's scar, but she finds him surprisingly kind. Akko begins advising her on his habits, warning her that when Kanan focuses on magic, he forgets to eat. She instructs Rinko to prepare his favorite sandwiches, specifically hamburger patties with bacon, and milk tea, though he will drink it plain. As Akko reflects on her first days as Kanan's maid, she remembers how she was originally brought in to serve him, and how the role was meant to help her attract suitors. She fondly recalls their laughter and the service she provided, but she also worries about his sadness, noting how much he was affected when his teachers, Jeannie and Flora, left. Finally, she sternly warns Rinko. Kanan is an honest, impressionable child who listens to those around him. She threatens to beat Rinko if she plants any corrupt ideas in his head, such as chasing women. She insists that Princess Milica is the only woman he should be close to, noting that because he has grown into a respectful man who treats women with such kindness and charm, he is an easy target for others. Rinko gets annoyed by this description, defending Kanan's character as a truly respectable perso. Following the discussion, a meal is brought to Kanan. As he tastes it, he finds it incredibly delicious, noting that it tastes of the warm smoke and love shared by the two sisters, Akko and Rinko. The next morning, as Kanan prepares to depart, Akko comes to bid him a final farewell. He asks if she remembers what he told her after his teachers, Genie and Flora, left, that he wouldn't be okay if she left too. He reflects on the fact that he is now far from his father, mother, older brother, the royal mages, and Princess Milica. Even though he knows this journey to the magic school is his own choice, he tells her with heavy emotion that no matter how far apart they are, he will remember her for the rest of his life. Moved to tears, Akko promises he can visit her when he returns home, as she will continue working in Huglia after her marriage. She motherly insists that he take good care of himself. As Kanan and Rinko board the carriage, his grandfather is visibly heartbroken, wanting him to stay longer. Hating long, drawn-out goodbyes, Kanan orders the driver to depart quickly. Rinko scolds him for this, as the grandfather was still mid-sentence, but Kanan explains that lingering would only make the pain worse for the old man. During the ride, Kanan thanks Rinko for coming to work for him, acknowledging that her fiancé will be waiting years for her while she saves up to open their shop. When he asks what kind of business she dreams of, she reveals she wants to open a restaurant. She explains her philosophy. The only difference in the food business is whether you are nourishing people in the light or disposing of waste in the dark. Kanan feels a surge of excitement. He is starting a new chapter and is eager to meet new people. Upon arriving in the city, Rinko is dazzled by the sheer number of magic shops. Kanan explains that because they are so close to Derashik, the city thrives on incredible magic. They enter a bookstore where Kanan eyes the magical texts. Rinko asks if he wants to buy some, but Kanan dryly remarks that if he buys even one, they'll be homeless. The book costs 5 million Nika. Rinko screams in shock, realizing that single book could fund her entire restaurant, a fiancé, and even a branch location. Kanan notes that unique magical books always command exorbitant prices. A young girl approaches Kanan, asking if he is a magic student and if he can cast spells. When he mentions he uses water magic, he demonstrates by shaping a small, intricate cat out of water. The girl is delighted. Though she cannot use magic herself, she loves the field and hopes to work in it. She mentions that Derashik is buzzing this year because the Saint of the Holy Kingdom is enrolling, following the Prince of Hell and the Thunderbolt from the New Kingdom who joined last year. She predicts Kanan will become famous too. She then offers Kanan a special discount on a used spell book by the famous Mage Zeon. To Rinko's surprise, Kanan declines it. When Rinko asks why he passed up such a good price, Kanan casually reveals, "I already know the contents. After all, I'm the one who wrote the revised edition." The scene then shifts to a clothing boutique where Kanan is searching for a new outfit. The shop owner watches from a distance, amazed by the sight of such an elegant and refined child accompanied by his maid entering the store. Kanan enters a shop with his maid, exploring the various goods on display. When he picks up an item and expresses his admiration, the shopkeeper snaps at him, ordering him to stop touching the merchandise. Kanan explains that he is trying to memorize the textures, noting how different materials like fabric and fur have unique qualities. Curious, Kanan asks about a specific piece of fur, and the shopkeeper boasts that it is from a rare black fox, warned him again not to touch it. Using his water magic, Kanan instantly recreates the black fox. Realizing that Kanan can replicate anything he touches through magic, the shopkeeper asks if he can reproduce a human woman. Rinko is infuriated by such a suggestion being made to a child. Although the shopkeeper apologizes, Rinko declares that a mere apology isn't enough for defiling Kanan-sama's ears, and drags him out, calling the shop a place for adult scum. As they leave, Rinko grumbles that the city is unfit for education and insists they head to Derashik immediately. Kanan remarks that she is even scarier than Akko when she's angry. Back in the shop, the merchant is wallowing in guilt over his comments to the boy when a saint and two companions enter. She asks to see the rare black fox scarf she heard about. However, the moment she touches it, she realizes it is a magical construct. The spell dissolves into water, and she apologizes for accidentally breaking it. She notes that the spell was incredibly sophisticated, crafted with a minimal amount of mana. The shopkeeper is left in despair, lamenting the torture of his day, first being outsmarted by a child and now having his goods dissolved by a saint. The scene shifts to Kanan and Rinko, finally arriving in Derashik. Kanan is thrilled to see the magic school, while Rinko suggests they both rest after their long journey. When they arrive at the dormitory, the administrator informs them that the rooms are full and the application deadline has passed. Kanan is stunned, as no one had informed him of this requirement. Meanwhile, a teacher enters the office of Rundemond, who remarks on the teacher's bold entrance. The teacher insists they must have an urgent discussion regarding Kanan. Back with Kanan and Rinko suggests staying at a hotel using family funds, but Kanan hesitates. He explains that since he will be studying here for several years, he would rather rent a long-term house to save money for his magical research expenses. He jokingly asks Rinko if they should rent a house and live together, to which she playfully asks if that's a marriage proposal. The dormitory administrator then provides them with a list of real estate agents who specialize in finding housing for mages who couldn't secure a spot in the dorms. In another scene, two teachers present the list of newly enrolled students to the Archmage. The Archmage mentions hearing that this year's batch is exceptional, with some qualifying for advanced classes. One teacher points out a student who is the disciple of Zeon. The Archmage is shocked to learn that the legendary Zeon has actually taken a disciple, Kanan. As the episode nears its end, the dormitory administrator informs them that only authorized students and staff are allowed past a certain point. Rinko attempts to offer a coin as a bribe, but the administrator firmly refuses. As Kanan walks with her, he senses that while she seems strict, she is actually quite kind. He realizes he doesn't know her name and tells her that not having a name is interesting in its own way. She reveals her name is Lubella, and Kanan tells her it is a beautiful name. That concludes today's anime episode. If you enjoyed the story, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new update. The anime episode begins with Kanan arriving at the Derashik Magic Academy. There, he meets new students, including the Holy Kingdom's saintess named Rice. He is amazed by her because she can use the light element, something he has never encountered before. Users of this element are the only ones capable of healing anything. He asks her to tell him more about light magic. Rice is surprised by him because this element is considered superior to other elemental magics, and a magician with a lower-level magic cannot learn from someone with a higher-level magic. Kanan objects, stating there is no clear hierarchy in magic. The saintess replies that she doesn't fully understand it herself, but she lacks emotions compared to others. She believes she is speaking normally, but they feel she is offending them. She then tells them she bears the hero's brand, which makes Kanan realize she, like him, carries the Demon Lord's curse. He becomes even more interested in her because she uses light magic and bears the hero's brand simultaneously. This is all very fascinating, so he eagerly wants to hear more about her. Believing fate has brought them together, he asks her to sit with him so he can learn more about these elements. At that moment, Teacher Sav arrives, apologizing for being late. He introduces himself as Sav Cricket, a teacher at the academy, and introduces his assistant, Sci-Fi, who is not an official teacher but more like an assistant. He congratulates the four of them on enrolling at the academy. They are surprised because they haven't been tested for admission or rejection. The teacher explains that at this school, success is based on magical ability. He knows they haven't heard of this because it's not publicly announced. Magicians bearing the marks are rare and valuable, and they were asked to come here specifically for testing. He then presents the 3 paths at Derashik Academy. The first level covers the basics, as the name suggests. The second level, Teacher's Assistant, is similar to regular classroom teaching and has the largest number of students. The third, Advanced level, is also called Independent Research. Students in this level usually don't stay in classrooms and can choose what they want to do, learn, and study whenever they wish. They can choose to improve their magical skills, create new spells, write spell books, or invent new magical tools. Kanan is delighted that he can conduct any research he desires. The teacher continues talking about the advanced class, which is dedicated to preparing elite magicians, and enrollment and graduation are not easy. The 4 of them came with letters of recommendation from their countries or teachers who believe they have the necessary skills to enter the advanced class. Kanan becomes more excited about the advanced class and its tests, eager to learn about them quickly. The practical skills test begins. The teacher asks the students to come forward one by one and state their mark's element, rank, and the number of spells they can use. The student Hank Bet starts, stating he has a 2-star fire mark and can use 7 spells. He then uses his best spell, Ka Ryu, a very strong flame that rises upwards. However, it wasn't difficult for Kanan, as magical power determines the path and seems more important than the flame itself, and the structure is simple, allowing for unlimited application. After Hank finishes his spell, his teacher congratulates him on his excellent control. The next student, Rhea Hawes, uses the wind element, has 2 stars, and can also use 8 spells. Teacher Sav is impressed that he also bears the wind mark, which makes him want to encourage Rhea even more. Rhea then asks everyone to step back and uses a very large spell called Fugaru, which draws magical energy from the sky to gather air and transform it into wind to be released. Intermediate magic seems to use more magical energy, and what Rhea did was different from basic magic. Next is the Saintess Rice St. Lance. She uses the 3-star light element and can use 5 spells. Her best spell is healing, but since no one is injured, she uses a spell called Ra Sira, which is very fast and cannot be dodged unless one acts before she casts it. Finally, it's Kanan's turn. He introduces himself, stating he uses the 2-star water element and can use 2 basic spells, Iori and Aruyu. The teacher is surprised that he can only use 2 spells, yet he was asked to make his test more difficult and that he has a letter of recommendation in his name from the royal head mage, Lundamund, in Huglia, and another from his teacher, Zeon, asking to make his test very difficult. The students are amazed because Kanan is the apprentice of the best-selling author-magician. Every magician in education knows this teacher. The teacher tells Kanan in the letter that Kanan will complete any task assigned to him, so he will make it very difficult and show what his student can do, so he should watch in amazement. Saifi appears upset because Kanan is this teacher's student and gets his arrogance from him, so he will undergo the hardest test. They are sent home, and Kanan begins the written skills test. He decides to give his best effort. Teacher Sav creates a large sphere of wind, like a barrier protecting him from the outside, and asks Kanan to try hitting him with his magic. Everyone is amazed because with this spell, he managed to create a strong wind wall that will easily deflect water, and if Kanan touches it carelessly, he will be torn to pieces. Teacher Sav waits to see what Kanan will do. Those without offensive magic cannot penetrate this wall. Even a skilled magician would find this task difficult. Since Kanan only has 2 basic spells, he might not be able to penetrate this wall. However, Kanan shows no concern, thinking the task would be more difficult. Teacher Sav urges him to complete the task, as the girls won't like him if he's all talk and no action. Kanan uses his spell, producing many water spheres and multiplying them until they become a dense fog that surrounds every side of the wall. The teacher mocks him, saying this is all he can do. Kanan replies that he can continue this for 2 days or more, but asks if the teacher can maintain his spell, which requires a lot of magical energy. Kanan knows it won't last half a day, so he is sure the task is complete. The teacher understands that Kanan has turned the task into an endurance test, and he is now in a weak position because if he uses less magical energy, the red fog will overwhelm him. Compared to intermediate magic, maintaining basic magic is easy, which is likely the case here. In the end, Kanan tells him he is the winner, and never thought Kanan could defeat him so easily. He is now sure that Zeon sent him a child with terrifying potential. Kanan then talks to Rice, asking her to teach him how to convert the water release to incredible speed, like she did with her light. They then go to their classroom, where Kanan continues talking to Rice, saying he wants to combine her light magic with his water magic, but Rice ignores him. Teacher Sav comes to tell them they will now have individual interviews, and they can ask any questions. Kanan asks why the Saintess is ignoring him, and asks Sav to recommend him to her. Saifi gets angrier, wanting to send him home. The teacher asks her to calm down and tells Kanan to stop flirting with Rice until the test is over, as he doesn't want him to bother others during this crucial stage. The individual interviews begin. Hank goes with Sci-Fi. Kanan asks his teacher to ask him many questions about wind magic. Then it's Ria's turn. Kanan tells Sav Cricket that he has many questions about wind magic. Teacher Sav agrees. Kanan asks Sav Cricket if they can leave after the interview. Sav tells him yes. Kanan is happy and asks Rice St. Lance, "This isn't goodbye, right? I hope we'll be in the same class. You can tell me about light magic then." Kanan then tells Sav that he prefers to stay alone with his master. Sav tells him it's a coincidence because he is like him and tells Kanan to listen. During the practical skills test, Sav asks, "You were preparing another move in case there was a time limit, right?" Kanan replies that he was thinking of a direct method and hoped to use erosion or melting to control the situation. Sav tells him that he made his winds erode with his fog to melt and interfere with his magical power to control the wind. Kanan says something like that. Sav replies, "I thought that was possible." Kanan says, "My intuition told me that controlling the other from the inside is easier than from the outside. Magic is connected to the user, so introducing water, or rather making it interfere with other magic, allows water to penetrate most materials. Water is the best element. I wish I could say it's the strongest, but I couldn't defeat my teacher, so I can't say that. That's why I want to study many things here and learn many things." Sci-Fi comes and is surprised by Kanan and teacher Sav. Kanan tells her that he thinks it's time for the interview. Sci-Fi takes him to the interview room. Kanan asks her, "Will you hold my hand to guide me?" Sci-Fi replies, "Impossible. You are Zeon's student." She opens the door and tells him to enter. Kanan asks her, "What is behind this door, teacher Sci-Fi?" Sci-Fi asks him, "You really can't see? If Kanan finds wind, does it lead outside?" Sci-Fi tells him that no one knows for sure, but simply there is night behind this door. Kanan asks, "Is there solid ground?" Sci-Fi replies, "You won't fall." She asks him, "Will you be all right alone? I can accompany you if necessary." Kanan tells her he will be fine and enters. Kanan says to himself, "I can't see anything, and my glass eye is also unable to see. A long time has passed since I became completely blind. The ground is earthy. I feel the wind, smell the dirt and grass. There is a starry sky above me, I guess." Then he hears a voice saying, "You are Zeon Lee's student." When Kanan finds the 7 figures around him, he introduces himself as Kanan Gurion. The voice speaking to him replies that he was a genius enough to make him admit it. "And what about you?" Kanan tells them not to come too close. "I have a fiancé, so I shouldn't get close to other women." The voice asks, "Weren't you flirting with the saintess non-stop?" Kanan replies that he wanted to ask her about magic in private. The voice replies, "Regardless, I am an old woman much older than you. Do you still see it as a problem?" Kanan replies, "Yes, a respectable man does not change how he treats women based on their age. You are a mature woman who has lived through thick and thin and is undoubtedly a more skilled mage than my teacher. I am impressed by you. What if a mistake happens? No matter how old one is, what happens between a man and a woman is unpredictable." The voice asks him, "Did you learn anything today?" Kanan tells her that the magic he saw was new to him and he wants to apply it to his magic. He will try it as soon as he gets home. The voice tells him he is full of energy and the interview is over. Kanan asks, "Really? Can I leave?" The voice tells him yes, and that she will put him in the advanced class as he wished. Kanan is happy. She tells him to study hard and make a name for himself. "In the end, I am Grey Rova. When I told Zeon Lee I would teach you, his face lit up with joy. It doesn't matter. Take care of my trainee this year." The scene shifts to teacher Sav, who says he is very proud of him. "He possesses a rare talent and will easily surpass me after a few years, though not as uniquely as me, of course. I know I exaggerated at the school, but please cover for what I did. He is still a child and sensitive, so give him time to grow up and become troublesome." The scene shifts to Rinko, who welcomes Kanan back and asks him how school was. He tells her it was fun, but he missed her. She replies that she missed him so much that she ate 3 delicious parfaits while waiting for him. He tells her to tell him later where she went. She asks him, "What, going on a date? Did you ask a girl out this fast?" He replies, "I wouldn't do that. I only see you, Rinko." He asks her why she didn't ask anyone out. Meanwhile, the teacher says, "I know he will become the blue magician anyway. That boy tried to see something that wasn't complete, but he used a spell I've never seen before. That's why magic is so interesting." This is how the anime episode ends. If you like the video, please press like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all new updates. The episode begins when a letter from Rinko, Kanan's maid, reaches his parents. In it, she informs them that Kanan passed the exam and joined the advanced class, which is the highest rank in the magic school. He went a bit overboard during the exam and dyed the school courtyard red, leading people there to call him the Bounty of the Sea of Blood, or a troublemaker. However, his immense talent leaves everyone in awe. Although his parents are very happy at the beginning of the letter, his father becomes furious upon hearing that he is causing trouble and decides to punish him by withholding his allowance for a month. When Kanan learns of this, he laughs heartily. His teacher explains that students in the advanced class are expected to earn their own living. Rice objects to this, arguing that she came there to learn magic and has no time to think about earning a livelihood. However, the teacher maintains that the advanced class consists of the best mages, and one of the requirements for being an elite mage is the ability to support oneself. If they cannot do so, they will never be among the finest. Later, Kanan meets with his friends. Rice informs them that she needs 1.5 million Nika per month because she has 2 maids who also serve as her guardians. So in addition to living expenses, she must pay their salaries. The scene then shifts to teacher Sci-Fi meeting the students to inform them that every student in the advanced class has a room with a private research lab. Use of the lab is free, but they are responsible for the costs of the medicines and books used in their research. They have the freedom to study hard or slack off, but if they do not gather enough points, they will be demoted to the second level. These points are earned through experiments and magical achievements recognized by the teachers, which also affect their promotion. Kanan is indifferent to all of this because both he and his teacher have a significant amount of money. However, he hasn't been paid for his part-time job yet. He knows his teacher found work in magical engineering at this school and feels lucky, as working in the field of magic has been his dream since childhood. His friends are impressed, as they never expected him to think so seriously about his future. Kanan then asks Rice what kind of work she will do with her light magic, offering to take her to a wonderful magic parfait shop if she tells him, but Rice refuses to answer. When Kanan returns to the house he shares with Rinko, it is dinner time. Rinko senses he is sad, and he tells her that the saint, Rice, always rejects him. Rinko advises him to listen carefully because girls do not like being pestered. A man should respect a lady's wishes above all else and should not be alone with a girl to avoid misunderstandings. She then asks if he can earn money himself since he won't receive an allowance, and he assures her he can work and pay her salary. Meanwhile, Rice talks with her maids. She has consulted the school and they confirmed she is not allowed to receive support from the Holy Kingdom or donations, as guidelines forbid receiving money or items from any outside party. One maid suggests she use her healing magic for commercial purposes to earn money. The next morning, Rice arrives at the academy and senses something strange. Her friends tell her that Kanan started a project that became an instant success, the Sleep Sanctuary. He uses his magic to create waterbeds in the form of large bubbles for students to rest in. A girl who stayed up all night for an experiment takes the last available bed for 30 minutes, while Kanan asks the other students to wait as there are no vacancies. His friends and teachers watch him and ask about the project. He takes them to his room to show them the waterbeds he created with his magic, noting it is the only thing his teacher ever praised him for. His teacher is impressed that he turned sleep into a business. Kanan explains that people get immersed in research and stay up all night, so he thought of providing a comfortable short nap. Teacher Sci-Fi decides to grant Kanan's request for extra lab space and suggests providing this service for teachers as well. Kanan hesitates because asking teachers for money feels awkward, but his teacher tells him not to worry as many people are in a similar situation. The students sleeping in the beds look very comfortable. When they wake up after a 60-minute nap, they feel as refreshed as if they had slept for half a day. Kanan earns a lot of money from this project. The scene shifts back to Rice discussing support from the kingdom again. Her maid suggests she discuss the matter with her teachers, but Rice has already done so. The teachers and students suggested she seek advice from Kanan. Though she is reluctant to ask a trivial person for help, she feels forced to go to him. The next day, she approaches him for advice, but hesitates to rely on him personally, fearing what he might ask for in return. Kanan interrupts, stating he is a gentleman, and would never exploit her weakness. She would simply be indebted to him. He then asks her to call teacher Sci-Fi before they begin, as he believes a gentleman should not be alone with a lady. When teacher Sci-Fi arrives, Kanan suggests Rice use her magic to treat people's injuries to earn money. She replies that her healing magic was granted by her ancestors and rulers and cannot be used for profit. He then suggests writing experiment reports, but notes that as new students, their data might not be valuable yet. After thinking, he asks about purification magic, suggesting she use it on products for magic tool factories to sell with him. Teacher Sci-Fi points out that if a product becomes popular, there might be issues regarding rights. Kanan explains that Rice will be the one in charge even if they make them together, as she needs the money now. Rice agrees to the project. They go to see a lady named Surya. Kanan notices her skin is as smooth and fresh as an icy path, and she tells him it's thanks to the waterbed. Lady Surya recognizes Rice as the saint she heard about, and introduces herself as a teacher with the light element. She gives Kanan a box of Shishila seeds he requested to plant. Rice objects, saying this plant is sacred and only grows in Holy Land. Kanan explains his research shows that Holy Land is simply a place saturated with holy magic and purifying energy. Rice remembers visiting the Holy Land and how the ground was purified by holy power. Kanan explains she can use her purification magic for commercial purposes by creating an artificial Holy Land, using her personal spell, Holy Sanctuary, to produce a holy barrier in a small amount of soil. Teacher Surya is excited to see what Rice will do. Rice begins the ritual, and the Shishila sprouts immediately, leaving them all in awe. Kanan is overjoyed by the plant's growth and begins documenting everything, noting that light magic is so marvelous that a single book wouldn't be enough to record its wonders. Watching him, Rice thinks to herself that Kanan only acts this way when it comes to magic. He was focused on his experiments and wasn't actually flirting with her. When she asks what he plans to do with the sacred plant, Kanan reveals they will manufacture medicine from it. Since the plant is sacred, rare, and expensive, earning 1.5 million Nika will no longer be just a dream. Rice is astonished by the potential profit, realizing that while she struggled to find a solution, he devised a way to generate wealth through magic in a very short time. Teacher Surya then mentions that she is glad the 1 million Nika didn't go to waste, explaining that each seed costs 200,000 Nika, bringing the total value to 1 million. She informs Rice that she must pay for the materials used in her magical experiments. However, Kanan points out that their agreement stated the materials would be free if the cultivation succeeded, and she documented the growth report. He then thanks Rice, telling her she saved him. Rice apologizes, admitting that she feels a sense of regret for causing him so much trouble, but Kanan insists she should thank him instead of apologizing. Teacher Surya, delighted by the plant, begins grinding the petals and mixing them with dried yue grass to complete the process, while Kanan applies his magic to the mixture. The scene then shifts to an old man who is impressed by the sacred plant, noting that the grains are worth 1.5 out of 10, or rather a full million Nika. Later, at a restaurant, Kanan celebrates the completion of the deal with his friends, telling them that it is a gentleman's pleasure to open his wallet for attractive ladies and inviting them to order whatever they like. One of the girls thanks him, mentioning they received their wages and that the guild negotiated a long-term contract on their behalf. Kanan expresses his happiness at having lunch with them, noting he can now write reports on light magic. Later, back at his palace, Kanan feels a bit somber, realizing the lunch cost 220,000 Nika. He tells himself he must be careful about telling people to order whatever they like in the future, having learned his lesson. He then meets his male friends, who ask about Rice's medicine. He tells them everything went well except for the wine. When his friends ask him for advice, Kanan refuses because they aren't ladies, instead asking them to help him realize his ideas by preparing some bacon for him. Finally, we see a group of girls sleeping on Kanan's magical water beds. Another girl asks them what they are doing, and it is revealed that they secretly intend to get rid of Kanan. The episode ends here. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all our latest updates. In today's episode, Kanan and his friends continue their strange but clever journey at the Magic Academy, trying to make money using their magical skills while learning new abilities. From flying experiments to magical cooking and mysterious student factions competing to recruit them, things are about to get intense. Let's dive into the story. The episode begins with Kanan meeting his friends Hank and Rhea. He makes a deal with them. He will pay them money if Hank cooks him bacon and if Rhea practices flying in the air. Kanan believes this is better than wasting time doing nothing, so they all agree. Later, Kanan meets his teacher and the assistant. He shows them a strange pillow shaped like a huge hairless mouse. It is designed to be hugged while sleeping on a waterbed so a person can fall asleep very quickly. Without this pillow, sleeping becomes a little difficult. Kanan offers the pillow to his teacher to try it, but the teacher refuses because he is afraid he might become addicted to it the moment he touches it. Kanan then suggests that the assistant try it instead, but she refuses as well. Kanan says goodbye to them because his sleeping customers are waiting. The teacher then shows how proud he is of Kanan. Kanan has created an effective system for making money in a short time. Race is also doing well, and Hank and Rhea have begun their own experiments thanks to Conan's advice. It has already been a month since they joined the academy, so there is no longer a need to supervise them closely. At that moment, 3 girls arrive looking for Kanan to ask for advice, but they cannot find him and return to their classes. Everyone has started working on their own new projects, and it is clear that fierce competition will soon appear between them. The scene shifts to Kanan meeting some friends and telling them about his latest idea, soft mouse-shaped pillows without fur. They are gentle and comfortable and perfect for a peaceful nap. Everyone becomes excited about the idea. Suddenly, Kanan smells bacon and looks out the window to see Hank working. He rushes over because Hank has burned the bacon again. Meanwhile, students are searching for Kanan because they want to sleep using his beds, but they cannot find him. Kanan asks Hank to prepare bacon that satisfies him as quickly as possible. He explains that the bacon should be smoked slowly instead of being placed directly over the fire. If the heat stays steady, it will not burn. Hank apologizes because he has never prepared bacon using fire magic before, and maintaining the fire for a long time is difficult. Kanan encourages him to keep trying. Then Kanan goes to Rhea, who is attempting to fly, but keeps failing. Kanan uses his own power to lift Rhea into the air and then drops him quickly, but protects him using a waterbed. He tells Rhea that he should first learn how to float steadily before trying to fly. Later, they go to the academy restaurant for lunch. The waiter serves their meals, which unfortunately include the burned bacon. They decide to eat it anyway because food should not be wasted, and Hank should share responsibility. Rhea even suggests that they eat together to save as much money as possible. While walking, they meet Race, who joins them for lunch because she also wants to avoid paying money. When they eat the food, it tastes terrible, so they remove the bacon from their meals, except for Race. The story returns to the students waiting for Kanan so they can rest. Eventually, Kanan arrives and they begin taking turns using the beds. At the end of the line, the 3 girls are waiting to talk with him. Kanan shows them the mouse pillow and explains that it helps people fall asleep quickly. Only 3 beds remain available, so the girls become excited to try them. As soon as they lie down, they fall into deep sleep. Meanwhile, Hank continues trying to cook bacon again, remembering Conan's advice. Rhea also keeps practicing flying. Race starts planting a new batch of shishila plants, and the teacher Surya is very impressed with them. However, Race still does not fully understand why they must earn money using magic. The teacher explains that since childhood, they have only conducted magical experiments. In the real world, some people try to deceive and exploit naive mages like them. Magic is a special power given only to selected people, and their mission is to train mages who can use it correctly. By working and interacting with society, they will better understand the world. Race finally understands the teacher's explanation. The teacher decides to also speak with Rhea and Hank in hopes that they will understand as well. Race says that Kanan is already helping them a lot. Even though he may seem shallow, she believes they will learn many things from him. Later, they learn that faction recruitment at the academy has started today, but surprisingly, no one has visited them yet. The story then introduces several students discussing the recruitment process. These factions are organizations run by upper-class students. The 3 largest factions are Efficiency, harmony, and rationality. Advanced students are considered true mages, and teachers rarely interfere with their activities. Therefore, these factions function like cooperative groups for students. Hank knows a lot about these factions because he once worked as an assistant for a teacher at the academy. Many experiments require assistance, so joining a faction could be helpful. Race explains that recruitment was paused during the first month, so new students could adapt to school life. Yesterday was the first official day of recruitment. Hank begins thinking about joining the Harmony faction. Later, when they eat again, the food tastes extremely salty, and Kanan tells Hank to try again. Elsewhere, a girl apologizes to a faction representative. He forgives her, but wonders if the plan will work. The girl laughs and says his tone sounds like a demon. She explains that she fell asleep because she could not resist Kanan's powerful magic. The representative comments that this is exactly what he would expect from a student of Zeon. Soon, the representative meets Bill and Shilto. They argue that none of them will allow the others to recruit Kanan first. The scene shifts to the palace garden where Rhea is exhausted from training. Kanan encourages him with the promise of a reward. Kanan uses his magic to lift Rhea into the air again, and Rhea becomes excited because he is finally learning how to float. Rhea reflects on his life. He was born in a baron's family in the countryside and was considered one of the most talented mages in his region. People even believed he could become a royal mage in the future, but he realized he was just a big fish in a small pond. Now he must earn money to support his father and family who sacrificed so much for his education. Kanan tells him that he will record everything, from his flight to his fall. Later, several students discuss Kanan's abilities. One says that Kanan completed his homework after only a few attempts and would fit well in the efficiency faction. Bill argues that Kanan works well with others and gives helpful advice, so harmony would suit him better. Shilto says that because Kanan is related to a hero and possesses exceptional magic recognized by Zeon, the rationality faction makes the most sense. Meanwhile, Hank continues experimenting with fire magic and eventually creates different flavors and types of bacon from fish, chicken, and lamb. Everyone is amazed at how delicious the food becomes. A buyer even purchases all of Hank's food and asks him to bring more the next day. Later, Rhea reveals he has been invited to join the rationality faction. Hank has been invited to join Harmony, and Race has been invited to join Efficiency, but has not decided yet. Kanan realizes he is the only one who has not received an invitation. Rhea jokes that the factions are probably fighting each other to recruit Kanan. In the final scene, representatives from the three factions argue over who gets the first chance to negotiate with him. Just then, a beautiful girl from one of the factions approaches Kanan, and that is where the episode ends. In the next episode, we will see which faction Kanan chooses to join. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. The story then introduces several students discussing the recruitment process. These factions are organizations run by upper-class students. The three largest factions are Efficiency, Harmony, and Rationality. Advanced students are considered true mages, and teachers rarely interfere with their activities. Therefore, these factions function like cooperative groups for students. Hank knows a lot about these factions because he once worked as an assistant for a teacher at the academy. Many experiments require assistance, so joining a faction could be helpful. Race explains that recruitment was paused during the first month, so new students could adapt to school life. Yesterday was the first official day of recruitment. Hank begins thinking about joining the Harmony faction. Later, when they eat again, the food tastes extremely salty, and Kanan tells Hank to try again. Elsewhere, a girl apologizes to a faction representative. He forgives her, but wonders if the plan will work. The girl laughs and says his tone sounds like a demon. She explains that she fell asleep because she could not resist Kanan's powerful magic. The representative comments that this is exactly what he would expect from a student of Zeon. Soon, the representative meets Bill and Shilto. They argue that none of them will allow the others to recruit Kanan first. The scene shifts to the palace garden where Rhea is exhausted from training. Kanan encourages him with the promise of a reward. Kanan uses his magic to lift Rhea into the air again, and Rhea becomes excited because he is finally learning how to float. Rhea reflects on his life. He was born in a baron's family in the countryside and was considered one of the most talented mages in his region. People even believed he could become a royal mage in the future, but he realized he was just a big fish in a small pond. Now he must earn money to support his father and family who sacrificed so much for his education. Kanan tells him that he will record everything, from his flight to his fall. Later, several students discuss Kanan's abilities. One says that Kanan completed his homework after only a few attempts and would fit well in the efficiency faction. Bill argues that Kanan works well with others and gives helpful advice, so harmony would suit him better. Shilto says that because Kanan is related to a hero and possesses exceptional magic recognized by Zeon, the rationality faction makes the most sense. Meanwhile, Hank continues experimenting with fire magic and eventually creates different flavors and types of bacon from fish, chicken, and lamb. Everyone is amazed at how delicious the food becomes. A buyer even purchases all of Hank's food and asks him to bring more the next day. Later, Rhea reveals he has been invited to join the Rationality faction. Hank has been invited to join Harmony, and Race has been invited to join Efficiency, but has not decided yet. Kanan realizes he is the only one who has not received an invitation. Rhea jokes that the factions are probably fighting each other to recruit Kanan. In the final scene, representatives from the three factions argue over who gets the first chance to negotiate with him. Just then, a beautiful girl from one of the factions approaches Kanan, and that is where the episode ends. In the next episode, we will see which faction Kanan chooses to join. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. One night in his room, Kanan writes a letter to Mirik sharing his experiences in the Magic City over the past month. The next day, while working on a report with Raya, an incredibly elegant lady named Elia Gesson appears. She invites him to join the Ability faction. Kanan pays little mind to the faction itself, telling her he is more interested in her instead. This pleases her, and after a brief chat, she departs. Left alone, Kanan asks Raya what she wanted. Raya explains the intense rivalry between the three factions. Kanan abruptly changes the subject and asks to continue his experiment. Suddenly, a woman with long hair appears, leaving Raya mesmerized once again. She introduces herself as Elva Duglight and invites Kanan to join the Harmony faction. Surprisingly, Kanan seems smitten, declaring he would do anything for her. Pleased, the woman leaves immediately. As Kanan returns to his notes, a third woman with blonde hair arrives. Raya is excited again, feeling his heart race. She introduces herself as Cassis and invites Kanan to the Rationality faction. Upon seeing Raya's face, she displays a hint of disgust, but persists with Kanan. Unlike before, Kanan ignores her completely and flatly refuses her invitation. After she leaves, a confused Raya asks why he rejected her. Kanan admits that while he felt bad, he would have joined if only she weren't actually a man in disguise. Raya is shocked, as he had considered her the most beautiful of all. Just then, the elegant black-haired woman reappears. Kanan greets her naturally. She asks if he will join Rationality, and this time, Kanan accepts without hesitation, claiming no gentleman would refuse a lady's invitation. This baffles Raya, who runs to tell Hank what happened, grows worried, knowing that joining all three factions will likely spark a conflict. That night, while the Ability faction celebrates Kanan's recruitment, the leaders of the Rationality faction burst in. As they argue, the Harmony faction arrives to investigate the rumors. Realizing the confusion, they all decide to confront Kanan personally. Meanwhile, Milica is out hunting the Lord of the Forest, an imposing bear. However, the beast disarms her with a single swipe. Just as she is about to be defeated, her older brother saves her at the last second. Later at the castle, her maid delivers a letter from Kanan. Milica is thrilled, but as she reads, she becomes consumed by jealousy upon discovering how many female friends he has made. Back with the protagonist, Kanan is having breakfast before heading to the academy. Rin asks if he has an account book to manage his finances. Kanan reassures her that he has recorded everything but left it in his lab. An annoyed Rin, appearing to grow a black horn on her head, demands he go get it immediately. Scared, Kanan complies. On his way to school, he greets the local baker. Upon arriving, he finds Raya eating Hank's food. Raya suggests he hide, but it is too late. The recruiters from each faction appear behind him. Though they are angry, Kanan greets them gallantly and asks if they are upset. When they admit they are, he invites them to join him for a sandwich. Hank and Raya feel the suffocating tension, but Kanan casually discusses future projects until the girls finally lose patience and drag him to see the representatives. They reach a castle where they meet Baal Kirkon, ability, Lulamet, rationality, and Shilton, harmony. Kanan sees something unique in Shilton. She is a woman. True to his weakness, Kanan kneels and asks to speak with her alone. This infuriates a recruiter, but Kanan notices his water affinity reacting to nearby fish and notes they will get along well. His eccentric behavior amuses Baal, who realizes that the easiest way to deal with Kanan is through Shilton. Kanan agrees, promising to answer any question she has over a cup of tea. On the way to another room, Kanan encounters a mysterious man named Genbis Yanb. Kanan is briefly startled by a woman covering the man's mouth, thinking it might be an evil spirit, but quickly retracts the thought and follows the representatives. Seated at a table, Lulamet asks which faction he chooses. Kanan is honest. Since he cannot say no to a woman, he has decided to join all three. This answer leaves the representatives and all the members completely speechless. And that is where the episode ends.